Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are all doing well. My name is Lori DeGroot from Lorita Marie Crafts, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I'd love to come live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time to share fun tips, techniques, and inspiration with you to hopefully get you crafting and using your crafting supplies. If you're ever looking for more information, you can always head over to my blog or my website, which is loritamarie.crafts.ca. So I can't believe that it's already the end of October. It's so crazy. And that Halloween is just a few days away. I don't know. Halloween is sneaking up on me. I'm not a huge Halloween person. And so to be honest, if I didn't have kids, I could probably take it or leave it. Don't tell anybody. But my kids are very excited about it, especially my youngest. And I always, well, not always, but we like to kind of DIY our costumes. And so he's decided to be a Ghostbuster, and I've got to come up with a costume by Monday. So wish me luck on that. Hopefully it all comes together, and I'll post some pictures of my stories if it all comes together, which I'm sure it will. And this weekend is also my second in-person class. I was so excited. This past Sunday was the first in-person event that I have done since obviously before the pandemic, and it was so much fun. It was so great to just see people actually sitting there and crafting and having a good time. My sister hosted a party with her friends, and they just had a really great time together hanging out, and they got to make a bunch of Christmas cards. And so I'm doing another one on Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to that one. If you missed out on this one, I wanted you to save the date because on Saturday, November the 19th, I am having another event. It is going to be called, I'll give you a little teaser, it's called Make Merry, a mini Christmas retreat. And so it's going to be an event on the Saturday, making fun Christmas projects. So it's going out on Monday. So if you're not on my email list already, be sure you sign up for my email list, and you'll find out all about it on Monday. So that's pretty exciting. Today I am going to be making 2 Christmas cards featuring the Joyful Flurry Bundle, which is all snowflakes and cuteness. And I'm really excited about doing that. And hey, have I had both cameras on this whole time? You've been seeing my hands. That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that until right now. So you know what I'm doing. You can see it right here, my Joyful Flurry Bundle. And I'm really excited about these cards. These cards, stay tuned, they are turning into essentially a free class for you. I'm going to show you exactly how to make them. And then if you place an order before the end of day on Monday, so Halloween, October 31st, if you place an order for over $40, I will send you all the supplies to make these 2 cards. So I will send you the cardstock cut and ready to go, and you get the fun of stamping and putting them together. So if you place an order over $40 using my October host code, and here I got a link to all the details that I'm going to post in the comments right now. And so you definitely go check it out. And then I also have a special gift. So I'm going to tell you about that when I'm crafting. Okay, I've had both cameras up the whole time, which is so funny. I'm now going to just spotlight the table. There we go. So you've been watching my hands. Okay, so this bundle is so cute. And I shared a card on Instagram, on Facebook on Tuesday. I'm going to show it to you now. And so this is another idea of look how cute this is. So this is mint macaron and very vanilla. And so we're going to do a couple more cards with this set today. And so what's fun about these dies is that they're they don't punch out all the way. They kind of just make a 3D snowflake, which is really cool. And so I'm going to make 2 cards, and they are going to be like a warm color version and a cool color version, if that makes sense. And I just feel like my light is really bright today, but maybe that's okay. Let's see here. Is that too bright? Oh, well. So for the warm color version, I'm going to start with a very vanilla cardstock base. So this is thick, very vanilla, cut in half at 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have scored it in half here at 4 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to use, so coordinating colors here are Blushing Bride and Mint Macaron. So these are all kind of warmer tones, and so these look really pretty together. And so to create a background, I've got this piece of Blushing Bride, and it is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to use my new favorite embossing folder, which is the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder. So that's this one. So you've seen me use it before, but I'm using it again because, like I said, it's my new fave. So we're going to just set it into our folder like so. And then I've got platform 1 and 4. And I'm just going to get that ready and then grab my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Okay, and then I'm just going to run that through. And then a textured background is a really awesome way to create a background without, say, using designer series paper. It kind of creates the same awesome effect. So let's see if I can get, I mean, come on. It is just so irresistible. It's so cute. All right, so that's going to be the base of the card. So why don't we just go ahead and put this right onto the card, and I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal for that. And then we're going to cut out our snowflake part. So we'll just center that on there. And then I'm going to cut my snowflake into Mint Macaron. And so let's go do that. So I'm going to get my machine again. And this time I've got my platform. And I need my cutting platform number 2, a plate, my cardstock, and then my die. And so I'm going to use this one here, okay? And I'm going to put it a little bit to the left, maybe like that. And so this piece of cardstock is, where did I cut this one out? 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And so I'm just going to run that through, and then I'm going to show you how awesome this is. Okay. So you see, it didn't cut it out all the way, but it makes it 3D. So you can use your, I've been using my take your pick tool for this, the pointy end here. And you can just kind of help the pieces along by poking them out a little bit. And then you can see that it's kind of going to create a peekaboo effect on your card. So much fun. And so I want to put something fun behind there, right? And so I'm going to use this very vanilla glimmer paper, which is so beautiful. If you see it in person, I mean, you're going to love it even more. So it almost feels like it picks up the Blushing Bride and the Mint Macaron in the colors in the glimmer. It's so perfect. So it's got that warm tone. So this paper is a part of this pack of glimmer paper, which should be on your Christmas list for sure. So on your Christmas crafting list. So Evening Evergreen, the Very Vanilla, and Gold, of course. So beautiful. So I've got a piece here of the Very Vanilla, and it is, I'm going to tell you how big it is, right? Yes, 4 by 3. So 1/4 inch bigger than this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, but I think I'm going to use dimensionals. I find dimensionals stick really well to glimmer paper. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then actually, maybe I'll put the glimmer paper on first, so it's not all puffy. So we're just going to go ahead and put this in the middle of our card. So you've got that beautiful tree detail in the background. And then I'm just going to center that on there. And then put my snowflake on here. See, these colors look so pretty together. And our little peekaboo snowflake, you're going to see the glimmer paper behind there. So you're always going to want, when you use these dies, to have something fun peeking out from behind. And then I'm going to add a couple more little snowflakes. So also in the dies, there's 2 of these ones here. And so you can cut out snowflakes with these. And these ones cut all the way out, as you can see. And then I kind of thought it would be fun. If you wanted to add a bit dimension, you could just put these on as is. They're going to look really great. Just kind of like a 3D element to the card. But I thought I was going to use my blending brushes a bit today, just to show how you can add like a tone on tone kind of dimension. So I'm going to use Mint Macaron ink right on my Mint Macaron cardstock. And you may or may not be able to see the depth of this on the video, but it's just kind of adding a deeper color to my snowflake. And so this is just going to maybe separate it out from the background just a little bit more. So let's get rid of that. And then I'm going to use glue dots to put these on. So you just plop the glue dot right in the center there. And I'll put one up there and one down here. They're so cute. And so they're just slightly darker. And these are just subtle ways that you can add a little depth to your card. And then to keep with our warm color theme, I'm going to use gold twine. And I'm going to tie it in a bow. A big loopy bow. And then snip it off. And put another glue dot kind of right where the knot is. And I'm going to put this here, and then we're going to put our sentiment over top of it, and it's just going to stick out. And so for the sentiment, I have cut out the die shape already. So these dies come with 2 different sizes, and they've got a stitched outline, so they're really pretty. And I'm going to use this sentiment here. It's a season of magic and wonder. And I'm going to stamp it actually in a darker shade. You could definitely stamp it in Mint Macaron, but I'm going to use Evening Evergreen. So that's another color that looks really good with these colors here, just a bit darker. And then I'm just going to practice, see how the stamps, if it's a little straight, a little, yeah. That's kind of how I stamp when it's already cut out, or of course you can stamp first on your cardstock and then cut out. So this is very vanilla. And then we're going to put a dimensional at each end here. And then kind of set this on here like this. So kind of want the gold poking out. And then last but not least, we need some gems. So if you order this as a class, so if you place an order for over $40, of course, you get everything to make this card and the second one as a little card kit. But if you place an order for $60, you are going to get a free gift from me, which is these Adhesive-Backed Sequins and Gems, which are so pretty. And I'm going to use the, I think these are technically Coastal Cabana. Yeah, I think, and Fresh Freesia, but it looks awesome with Mint Macaron as well. And I'm going to put one in the center of each of my snowflakes. And this is our first card. So pretty. I wish, right? Can you see the sparkles? Got to see the sparkles. So that's the first one. So now I'm going to show you a second card, and it's going to be similar in some ways, but we're going to use a cooler color scheme. So just to show you how it could look in a different way. So this time I've got a Night of Navy card base. So again, this is just folded 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half at 4 1/4. And then I have got a piece of Pool Party. So Pool Party and Night of Navy look really good together. And this is 3 5/8 by 4 5/8. And on top of it, I'm going to use shimmery white cardstock. So this is cardstock that you can color on and watercolor on. It's got a little sparkle in it. It's subtle, but it kind of is a bit warmer than, say, our basic white cardstock. And this is cut at 3 3/4. Nope, sorry, 3 1/2. 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to cut the snowflakes out of this one this time. And I'm going to do 3 snowflakes. So let's show you how to do that. So we'll get that again. And then platform 1, 2, and your first cutting plate. And then I've got my piece of cardstock here. And like I said, I'm going to do 3 snowflakes. So I'm going to grab this one that kind of has rounded pieces on it. I'm going to put this one down here that we used before. And then there's a third one here. And I'm going to put it up there. And they are kind of going to be off the cardstock a little bit, but that's okay. And then just set your other cutting plate on top, and we're going to run it through. Okay, let's grab those. Where do I want to put this machine? Over here. All right. And so if you saw my reel online, this is similar to the card that I made before, which I can show you again in a second. So again, we've got all these pieces cut out, and I'm actually just going to grab something. One second. So this one has little dots, this snowflake. So you might need to use this little brush that comes. Now it comes as an attachment to your Take Your Pick tool. I just don't have that yet. But I'm just going to run it along the back, and this is going to help me poke out all those holes. A little messy. The crafting is always messy, so that's okay. Doesn't bother me. Although I do have to vacuum my craft room. Okay, and so then you can just kind of bend your cardstock a little bit and kind of force these up. Or like I was showing you before, you can kind of go from the back and kind of start poking out your 3D. I mean, if it's going in an envelope, you might not want to spend too much time fussing with it because it's just going to get a little bit flattened anyway. This actually would look really awesome on a tag, right? These snowflakes, because then they're not going to get flattened. Okay, so pretty. So what you can do as well is add color. I wanted to show you this first with no color on it, because if you get the kit, it's not going to be colored in case you don't have these supplies. But it looks, actually this way, but it looks really pretty with nothing. Okay, so we're going to layer this up onto the Pool Party, and then onto the card. But if you want to, again, step it up and add a little dimension, you can use your blending brushes again. So I'm going to use Pool Party, and you can do this before you cut out too. I think I actually might have done that when I made my sample and then just forgot. So you can also, you could add a little color. This is turning. It doesn't have, okay. You can add this before you cut out the snowflakes, or do it now that you kind of know where the snowflakes are. And I'm just going to blend on. So when you do it after, what you get is even more dimension, because it kind of comes up on the edge of the snowflake, which is really pretty. So if you do it before, I'll show you my sample, my first sample when I'm done. And you don't get that same look because you're cutting it out after. So I'll show you the difference. So you can go as light or dark or as little as you want, but we're just adding a little depth again to our cardstock. And then, oh, actually I still need that. And this time I'm going to stamp a few little snowflakes too. So there's this cute little snowflake. And I'm just going to randomly stamp 3 on there. So also in the stamp set, you've got 3 bigger ones that you can stamp out, which are really beautiful as well. So, and little snowflakes. So lots of choices there. So now we're going to go ahead and start assembling things on. So I'm just going to use my seal. And then again, you want to have a backer behind this so that, especially with the holes, like you can see the background. So again, you might want to use glimmer paper behind there, but cardstock looks good too. Then we're going to put this on, and then we're going to finish it off. So pretty. So this time I'm going to use a piece of the Evening Evergreen glimmer paper instead of the vanilla. So this is a little strip that is 3 3/4 by 1/2 inch. And so I'm just going to lay that kind of across the bottom. And then, because we're doing a cooler color scheme, instead of the gold, I'm going to do silver. So silver and gold come together. Simply elegant trim. You get, I think there's 10 yards on each spool, so you get a lot of twine. And again, we're going to use our glue dot to put that on. I'm just putting it right into the knot of the bow. And we're going to put it kind of down here. And then we need a sentiment, right? So this time I've cut out a piece with the little label. So remember, there were 2 sizes. And there's 2 sentiments that fit right inside that. So Happy Christmas and Let It Snow. So I'm going to do Let It Snow. And just grab Night of Navy. So I'm going with the darker color. So I've cut this out in Pool Party. And so I just want a darker color to show up on there. Let It Snow. So cute. Okay, and then we need dimensionals, of course. And the gems. And then I'm going to show you just some comparisons so you can see how the different cards look. And I'll show you that other one I made as well. And so I'm just going to layer this on top. And of course, we can trim off that if it's a bit too long, if it's sticking off your card. And then this time I'm going to use both colors. And then you can just kind of randomly put them on. Maybe like so. All right, and there's our second card. So which one are you more drawn towards, the cooler colors or the warmer colors? I'm curious. Here's our 2 cards. And so you can see the depth of the snowflakes on this one. Let me show you, see if you can compare the 2. So here's my original one. And you can kind of see the snowflakes. It's not, they don't have like that outline on each of the pieces that are cut out because I did my blending before I cut out the snowflakes. So that's the difference there. And then here's the one that I made and made a reel out of. So this is really pretty. So again, I've got 2 different versions to show you what it looks like if you put the blending on before or after you cut out the snowflakes. So this one's before. Let's see if I come up a bit. And this one I blended after, so it catches the outline of all the snowflakes. So it just depends what you like better. And this is just vanilla and mint macaron. And then I stamped the sentiment Evening Evergreen. All right, those are our projects today. Let me switch back to me for a second here. Just me this time. I remember to do this. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And if you took the time to come in and watch the replay, I also appreciate that as well. Don't forget, I would love to give this to you as a free class. This is free. I will give you the card kit. I'll send it in the mail to anywhere in Canada. If you place an order over $40 using my host code, so it's got to be with my particular host code. So I've got the link here, and I'll post it again on Facebook. And you can also sign up for my email list, and then all the information will be in there. I'll send out a reminder tomorrow in my usual Friday email. And so if you ever have any questions, I would love to help you out with whatever you need. And that's it for this week. And I can't wait to share another fun project with you next week. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.